Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another Beyond the Beam episode here. And co-host here, Jeff Beever and Miss Craft Princess. And that. So where we got cooking up today?
Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be making some bookmarks, cactus-shaped bookmarks. Bookmarks have been like a #1 hot seller, so I'm giving them some variety.
Okay, all right. And what's the bookmark for today?
It's going to be a cactus. It's going to be in the shape of a cactus.
Cactus. Okay.
Yeah. And with a space to engrave a name.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, you can put. I've seen it already, so you can actually put 3 names on there.
I could, but usually, my customers are buying it for somebody. Okay. And so, like, if they were coming by and they said, "Oh, my friend Jeffrey loves to read," and then they pay me to put Jeffrey on that bookmark. So, yeah,
right.
Yeah,
sure. And that,
yeah.
So, and where did you come up with that idea? It's just one of those things, just off the cuff, or
well, I've been doing bookmarks for a minute. I have some friends a couple of girlfriends out in Arizona. So I want to make some for them. And then I thought, like I said, I have this event Saturday. Bookmarks are a hot seller. I'm a book nerd. And so it warms my heart when I meet fellow book nerds and they love the bookmarks. You know, we still love holding books and turning pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of being on a tablet.
Instead of reading on a tablet, but they're good for your journals. Put them in your Bible. So even if you don't read like a novel or something, just a notebook. You got a sketchbook, because I do, because I'm the other part of Miss Craft Princess is greeting cards, stationery. And so a lot of times I'm sketching something out. So in my sketchbook, I have a bookmark. And but I wanted to, we have the lotus flower, and then a couple of other designs, and just adding new designs to it to give people just more options.
Right. And like for me, like with me, with my military background and that, so I call it quick reference. Just like certain manuals or certain regulations, you got to quickly look it up.
Right.
Like so you can bookmark it, where you can flip it and it's right there. It's really nice. Instead of trying to open it up and say, okay, where's that? Have a quick reference. I call them quick reference tabs.
Yeah, and of course our audience will see this, but what's really cool about these is they actually clip on a page instead of just being the kind you slip in. So if you drop your book, oh no, the bookmark doesn't go flying, because if that happens, then you still don't know what page you were on, and it defeats the whole purpose, right? So these clip on to your page and hold your page in order, in place. So even if your book falls, your bookmark isn't going anywhere. And so I think that is what makes them so appealing to my customers. And so, but before I get into that, let's tell them what Beyond the Beam is and why we do this.
Sure.
Yeah.
We met on a platform, way back when, almost a year now. It's been a year. Wow. And that how time flies. And
I know.
We came from meeting on a platform, having you open up your box and get your XTool laser. We're XTool people, and that's how we in that. So we don't get no proceeds or anything like that because, you know, advertising for XTool or whatever lasers yet. So hopefully soon. But and then basically you had your product for 6 months without even opening up the box. And so we worked through that, and now you're the one pushing all the items, and I'm just sitting back and going for the ride.
Yeah, and part of the reason I hadn't opened it is because, like I said, I've got that other arm of my business.
Right.
That was which, you know, it's still my primary, but this one is growing. And I'm just enjoying it. We both love our lasers, and we were, you know, Jeffrey and I would have conversations. We'd be sharing something with each other, files, or hey, did you know it could do this or that? And just thought maybe there's somebody else out there who could benefit from these conversations, and hence Beyond the Beam was born.
Right.
So, you know, we talk all things laser engraving here. Like he said, we both have XTool, so that's what we know. So that's what you'll hear us talk about.
Yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds of different lasers, and that, you know,
right.
We're sort of like we're a small business, but we're sort of like a hobby business, you know, because they do have you know, like you go to your trophy stores and stuff like that, and where they have industrial lasers, you know, like your CO2 lasers. We're diode lasers right now. Our models are diodes, right? For us. And then, you know, they have the CO2 lasers and stuff like that, where, you know, it gets, you know, we can go off into the deep end on that one and that. So
I want one of those.
Yes, we're working towards that.
We're working towards that.
Yeah, put a little money aside. You know, it's like, hey, okay, I'll put $100 here, or, you know, $50 here, you know, and put a little savings. You know. Yeah. So, or if we get, you know, it's like you see on the YouTube's channels and stuff like that, where they're, you know, like they'll send them lasers. Hey, can you test this out? But then we have to have like 1,000 viewers. We have to have 1,000 Patreons, you know, and that. So, which we're getting, you know, hopefully within another year we can have, you know, 100 followers or whatever.
That's right. But we just love using our lasers. We both use them in our businesses. I just, you know, I told you that.
And the reason why I got my laser was to engrave names on my ink pens in the pin boxes and stuff like that. Instead of instead of going and paying somebody else to do it.
And I got mine because in my business, I'm handcrafted stationery and custom gifts. And while I was, you know, doing sublimation to customize and whatever, or vinyl, there was other material that I wanted to get into, like wood, which I absolutely love playing with wood. And so I just thought that a laser would be great. And it has been a wonderful addition to my business, because now I'm working with some realtors and I'm doing cutting boards for them and customers, and it has opened up.
What did you make for luggage? What type
I made leather luggage tags.
See, made some leather
luggage tags. Making
poster.
Engraving on slate, and what else? Playing with tile. I haven't perfected tile yet, but I'm playing with tile. And then of course, engraving and cutting wood is just that's my happy medium. That is my happy place.
Talked you into doing tumblers yet?
I have not. I've been asked to do tumblers. I have not unboxed that particular accessory, but it is coming. It is coming. But anyway, that is why we're here. That is what we do. Today we're going to do some cactus shaped bookmarks. And so I am going to take you into my laser bed and we're going to get started.
Okay.
So if you will take my face off, Jeffrey, and just have them in my laser bed, you can remove me. Thank you. So we're in my laser bed. So the first thing that I always do when I'm getting ready to do a project is I measure, and my machine gives me the opportunity to auto measure. I have the S1 20 watt. You see my 20 watt there. And this is interchangeable. I like that. I could get a 40 watt module head if I wanted to, and the 2WIR module head, but right now I have a 20 watt. So my auto measure is not working right now because this little distance sensor here is faulty, but I have some that are on their way. So I actually measured, and the reason you measure is so that you can tell the laser the distance between what you're working with and the laser head. So I've already measured it and I've put it in my system already. So the first thing now that I'm going to do is mark my area. And that is so that I will let the machine know, where on this piece of wood that I want to do my thing. So we're going to mark it. And I'd always do the rectangle mark. It's just what I do.
Okay. Looks like she's frozen. And that. So let's see if I can get her back here. And you're frozen. Oh, there you are. Huh. Let's see. We're having technical difficulties in that. Let me see. Oh. There you are.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. But that's the kind of day we've been having. So anyway, that's my first mark. And then I'm going to come down here, and I always just pick a really large area and I mark it. Okay. Just to give myself room because I never want to run out. So now I've told my machine that is where I want to work. All of this space here is where I want to work. But I'm not going to need to have that much space because I'm only going to cut a few here on camera.
Right.
So I will put a couple of, I've already taken the liberty of doing a couple of them. And I'm going to put them on my board, which you can't see because I'm in my computer.
Right.
But we're going to get this to get started. And hang on one second. And then you'll get to see my laser work.
Sure.
Okay.
And as you're cutting out, the program actually lets you know how much time it will take to cut it.
It does. It will. That was one of the upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to frame, and you will see when it tells me it's ready. I'm going to frame, and what you'll see my machine do is it's tracking where I told it to start. And so I know that's a problem, because you see that it picked this up right here, which means that I did not hide that on my system. Let me show you that again. That's why framing is so important, because it would start cutting there. Yep. And that would be a problem, because there's nothing to cut there. So I'm going to go in my system. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to hide that first one, because it is, yep. And now I'm going to frame again, because I want to make sure that we are communicating. And now you'll see, now it's not picking that up. It's going to the right of it like I wanted it to. And I'm going to show you that again. So framing is so important. I guess the worst thing that could have happened, well, I would have wasted time, but it would have just burned into that beam would have burned down to my tray. I would just have an outline, which who wants that? So now I have to close this lid. This is a safety feature on the S1 that I don't think Jeffrey's has. Do you have that, Jeffrey?
No.
Yeah. This is a safety feature, and if I don't close this, it will not operate, okay?
Right.
So now we're going to start it, and it's going to take 7 minutes to do 2 of them. We're going to do it, and I've got it cutting twice just to make sure that it cuts through that board. So now I'm going to just take you in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's so neat. That is so neat to watch. And what do you use for your exhaust? You know, to get rid of
I have an inline fan that my husband hooked up for me, and then I also have the air assist from XTool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know what that air assist is to help with?
It pulls some of the it helps you so that you're not charring if you have it set right, so that it's not because this does get smoky in here, as you'll see when it starts cutting. Right. And because some of the, depending on what material you're using, they'll tell you to turn it off so that it doesn't char your material.
Well, actually, the air assist helps the laser cut and gives it a more finer cut versus, like, if you don't have an air assist, you'll get like like what you call overspray when you're spraying that. So that charred look, and then you have to take a little sandpaper on your wood and then have to sand it off a little bit. So this gives it a nice, clean, crisp cut for your air assist.
So I set it to cut twice because I wanted to be sure, but you can see it already cut that one time.
Yep. That's the inside. Yeah. Now it's doing the outer layer.
Yeah. And you can see just a little smoke in the background there.
Yep. And it's being sucked out. I see
It's
that.
being sucked out. Otherwise, it would be very smoky in here, which it was before I got all these things and got my husband to hook them up.
Sure. And like for me with my air assist and my exhaust system and stuff like that, I have an a HEPA filter, which takes all that fine particle dust and smoke and stuff like that, and it keeps it where it doesn't fumigate my work area, my workshop, and that. So because some of those woods might you might get a bad reaction and stuff, on certain materials and stuff like that, like your acrylics, or if like when you're engraving on your tiles and your paints, on a different style of paints and stuff like that, you might get some fume base from the laser and stuff like that could be harmful to you too. So that's
before I had this set up, I used to wear a mask. Yeah, and even with the setup, if it's cutting wood that's like right up close to the edge, closest to me, a little smoke will seep out.
Right.
But for the most part, it's not choking me out. So, but you're right. This is so cool to watch. I love engraving. I love cutting. I love both of them.
Right.
Just to watch that laser. And so, I told you this cover was a safety feature. It protects my eyes too, because that laser beam is very bright. And even with this close, I have some safety glasses that are tinted that came with this machine. And I'll wear them sometimes, depending on how long the job takes, if I'm really looking in the machine a long time, because I don't want to be blinded by the light. I think that was a song.
Yeah, blinded by the light.
But I don't want to be blinded by the light. But look at that.
Nice and crisp cuts. Yep.
That is just so, to me, it's so hypnotic.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about my laser has actually been discontinued by XTool.
Time to buy another laser.
Yeah. And so, like they said, that they're actually going towards the M1 more than the D1.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
I'm not interested in that one though. I will probably get a module. I think I'm going to get that fiber module head for this laser. I'm not interested in the 40 watt. I think the 20 watt's good, but I would like that fiber module head.
That way you can engrave on metals and aluminum. Yep. Like do trophy signs and stuff.
Which I did a trophy sign on this.
Yeah.
With this, the gold to black. I did that for a customer. Oh yeah. Let's just look at that. You can already tell that it's perfectly cut. But let's pop them out. So that, my friends, is the bookmark. That is the bookmark. And the name Jeffrey's right. You could put one there, and one in the center. But what I plan to engrave is just the center.
Center. Yep.
And let's see, we'll pop this one out. And it did it so fast. It didn't take all day to do it. So I have like these two down, and I did one more before we went on, and then I have some more to do. But I wanted to show them how this works.
Right.
So when we talk about clip-on bookmarks, so okay, I have a bookmark on this page right here. See, that one's a flower, and it's not going anywhere. I thought I had another one in here. Maybe that's it. But what you do is you take this with one hand and you just clip it on the page.
Yeah.
If I can get this done with one hand, because I've got one hand on the camera. Okay. Yeah, there it is. That's what, or you could do it the other way if you want your name showing.
Right.
Like you're somewhere and you're really proud of this bookmark and you want everybody to see it. And so it's not hard to get on. I'm just trying to do it with one hand.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And so, and then if I drop my book, oops, see how I threw that book?
Yeah.
But the bookmark didn't go anywhere. The bookmark is still there.
Yep.
Which is so much better than the ones that you just slide in. If this was like one of those that you just slide in.
Yep.
And you drop your book. Whoops. When I lift it up, that fell out.
Yep.
So, and then I'm wondering, oh no, where is my page? So, yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it clips. And my book nerds, my fellow book nerds love it. And so this is going to be another one that I offer. And I'm going to be offering it Saturday.
All right. And where are you going to be Saturday?
So I'm in Alabama. And so it's going to be the Alabama Herb Festival. And it is going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central, because I'm on Central Time.
Right.
And it's going to be at Grace Presbyterian Church. It's on the corner of Bell Road and Atlanta Highway, which is a main road in Atlanta Highway is a main road in Montgomery, or main street, thoroughfare, if you will, in Montgomery. And so I did it last year for the first time and just had a wonderful, my products were well received. And I wasn't using the laser then.
Right.
So I'm offering these. Yeah.
And how do we get in contact with you?
So under my name is my website, MissCraftPrincessDesigns.com. And when you go there, I have a contact form. And so you can just go to that contact form and complete it. It sends an email to me. My phone number is on my website as well, but I would say go to my website and you will see it. And these are going to be loaded. Not only am I doing these for the show Saturday, but they are actually going to be loaded on my website under the gift tab. Yeah.
And then like for mine is beaversworkshop.com. If you're interested in my pins or anything like that, or if you want to email me, is at wally@beaversworkshop.com. And then your email address is?
It's misscraftprincess@gmail.com. But if they don't remember that, if they go to my website and complete my contact form, it sends me an email.
Sure. And that, so, and like I said, we had couple hiccups in the beginning and that. So, but our time has run out. So it is time to go. It was nice
So
to
bring
have
me
you
back
guys.
up, Jeffrey.
Okay. And that, so, and there, so we'll keep you posted and that. And I think you will be gone next week, or no? When are you going on vacation?
I'm
And
not
that,
sure yet.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But we'll keep you posted, and hopefully we'll see you next week. And that, all right, take it easy, guys.
Bye. Okay, so I saw where you put the creative spirit channel.